What's up, interwebs? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast. I'm Tim.
And I'm Adam.
This is Season 2. And if you're not familiar with the Storytime Podcast, this is where we go through one of my old drafts, usually about a decade old. And Adam reads a chapter, then we discuss the chapter. This season, we're going through my second book I ever wrote, and part of an 8-book series at the time, Marks of Eilira, Strangers from Another World. And we were on chapter 16.
That we are.
And the last two chapters, Adam, we've had some kind of just... It ends. This one has some of a cliffhanger.
Well, we shouldn't talk about the chapter.
Somewhat of a cliffhanger. I'm just giving them a heads up.
Oh, okay.
That's it. You're going to have to listen to the whole reading and not skip to the end to find out the cliffhanger.
Yeah, that would...
Why did I say that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm giving them ideas now that I shouldn't be giving them a...
No,
you know
don't
what?
tell them that.
You know what? I know an idea I can give them.
What?
An idea of, if you're going to enjoy this podcast, why not hit that like button? No, smash it and do it as a prayer for the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got running content on the channel. And then maybe you're not in the mood for some more running content, but you want to be entertained. Well, go check out Adam's terrible gameplay channel. Adam?
It's called ZOP Gaming. We're just a group of friends playing video games, just hanging out together.
Who are terrible.
We didn't say we're good, okay? We never said we're good.
Just making sure people know.
We're okay.
Yeah, you're not there yet.
We're super, just the most okay-ish.
Okay, yeah, there you go. You're okay-ish.
Ish.
Yeah. You're almost to mid.
Oof.
But you're not at mid-ish yet.
No,
You gotta
not
get to
that.
okay, then you get to mid, then ish, then you get to mid. But yeah, go check out his channel. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, we'll get to Adam's reading of chapter 16, and we'll be back.
16. Cliffy. The morning came quickly. Alkline woke Zach and Ryan up with the sun nowhere to be seen. The thieves were still tied up by the horses. From the position of their heads, Zach assumed they were still sleeping or out cold. Either way, he got up and got some breakfast. Alkaline had so many fruits out that he was cutting with a small dagger. They were red and round in shape with a stem on top. Zach thought they looked like apples, but it did not seem they could have the same kind of fruits they had back on Earth. "What is this called?" asked Zach as he extended his arm, picking up one of the slices. "They're called apples," said Alkaline. "I believe you have a fruit just like it on Earth." "Sure," said Zach, not believing that they had the same kind of fruits. He placed the slice into his mouth and took a bite, pulling back one half of the slice. The sweet juice washed over his taste buds, revealing the familiar taste. A look of shock came over Zach's face. "It is an apple!" "I told you," said Alkaline. "How is this possible?" asked Zach. "We don't know what is on other planets," said Ryan. "For all we know, there could be other planets that have the same things we do." "I guess," said Zach, putting the rest of his slice of apple into his mouth. "I'm just kind of shocked Eilira has something Earth has. It's the only thing since we've been here that is the same." "Not true," said Ryan, taking 2 slices. "We've seen trees and grass and people and mountains and many other things that are familiar." "Oh, well, food-wise, it was the same," said Zach. "Yes, Ryan, I know the one thing we had tasted like chicken." "I've been to Earth a few times," said Alkaline, finishing chopping up the last apple, whipping the knife clean and placing it back in its sheath on his belt. "We share many things, such as food and animals, but also many things we don't. 2 different worlds, so things are different, but are the same. Something I have come to accept and most likely will never forget. Why? And if I do, then I do." The boys had several slices of apple, some water, and some dried bread that Alkaline found while packing up his things. Once they were done eating, Ryan and Zach put their chainmail back on, placed their tunics over it, and were ready to go. Once everything was picked up, Alkaline walked over and placed the remaining slices of apple and bread in front of the thieves, who were still asleep. Once the food was placed on the ground, the 3 walked over to their horses, grabbed the reins, and proceeded to lead them across the river. The river was shallow near the shore, but in the middle it got deep. The water came up to the middle of Zach's chest, close to Ryan's shoulders. The horses had no trouble crossing the river. The current was strong, but within a few minutes, they were on the other side. They reached the road where they stopped and mounted the horses. This time, Ryan and Zach had a little trouble getting on their horses. When they were saddled up, Alkaline laid out the plan. "It's about 4 hours to Cliff," said Alkaline, turning his horse to face Zach and Ryan. "It is about another hour from Cliff to the mines, but we'll be stopping on Cliff to meet DL. If we are lucky, he will have found the stones and he can just give them to us. If not, we will follow him to the mines and help him find them." "How long do you think it will take to find the stones, if DL has not found them?" asked Ryan. "Not sure," said Alkaline. "DL is an expert and knows where to search. The best scenario is him having the stones already. Let's get going. The more time we sit here, the more time we waste. We can use it if we do have to help him in searching for the stones. Gah!" Alkaline snapped his reins and kicked the horse on its sides. The horse reared up on its back legs. Alkaline held on. The horse dropped down to all fours and took off. Zach and Ryan did the same, and they were off. Over the next 4 hours, they mostly rode in silence. They did not stop at all during their ride. They had not far to go, and stopping wasted time. They moved fast, but had to be careful due to the morning haze and fog, making it hard to see. After 2 hours of riding, the sun had risen and burned off the haze and the fog, allowing them to travel as fast as they had the previous day. With the fast travel, they were able to go. Once the sun rose, they arrived at Cliffy, earlier than they had thought. On reaching Cliff, they dismounted and took the horses by the reins and walked into the city. Zach was quite surprised by how small the town was compared to the other cities that they had been. He could see the end of the city in the distance. All the buildings were 1 or 2 stories tall and made out of wood and painted brown. They did not walk far before a huge bird flew and landed on Alkaline's shoulder. The bird had thin, tapered wings, allowing it to fly fast. The feathers were brown and black near the tail. The bird's beak was small compared to the bigger birds and curved, but not too much. The round brown eyes were locked on Alkaline, and on the bird's belly was a mixture of brown and white fur. The white legs were with black talons clutched onto Alkaline's shoulder. Around the left leg, a small silver container was tied to the leg. "What kind of bird is that?" asked Ryan. "I believe it's a falcon," said Zach. "You're right," said Alkaline, reaching up with his left hand towards the falcon's leg. He placed his thumb and pointer finger on the top part of the silver container and pulled a small rolled-up piece of parchment. Once the parchment was removed, the bird spread its wings about 15 inches from tip to tip, and with one quick flap, the bird took back off into the sky. Zach and Ryan kept their eyes on where the bird was heading, but within moments, it vanished from their sight. They turned their attention to Alkaline, who began unrolling the parchment. "What is that?" asked Zach. "It's a message from the Sentinels," said Alkaline. "Couldn't using birds reveal sentinels?" asked Ryan. "No," said Alkaline. "We don't use a certain bird. Also, using birds as a means of sending messages is very common." After a few moments, the parchment was unrolled and Alkaline looked at it. The parchment read, "Cliff's Inn." Alkaline turned his attention from the parchment to the direction they were headed and quickly took a left. Zach and Ryan followed him. Zach thought it was going to be like the other day, constant moving around before they got to their destination. But after a few minutes, they stopped outside a 2-story building that had a large faded brown sign that read, "Cliff's Inn." "Stay here," said Alkaline, handing the reins to Ryan and walking over to the door and leaning up against the wall next to the door. He did not move from this spot for several minutes. Zach was trying to figure out why they had to stay where they were when he was just doing nothing. After 8 minutes, the reason for their going to the inn was made clear. A young woman with a black cloak stopped in front of the inn and tied up her horse. Normally, Zach would not have thought much of her, but once the horse was tied up, she walked over to Alkaline, who stopped facing the door to the inn. Zach could tell they were talking, but it was only for a few moments before she opened the door and walked inside. Alkaline still did not move. He stood in his spot for another few minutes. Once enough time had passed, Alkaline got back to his feet and walked back over to Zach. He took the reins to his horse and started walking without saying anything. So Zach and Ryan followed. "Who was that you were talking to?" asked Zach. "I did not talk to anyone," said Alkaline. "Yes, you did," said Zach. "The woman with the black cloak who stopped right in front of the door." "I did not talk to her," said Alkaline. "The door would not open. If I were talking to her, she would have stopped in front of me." "Not if you did not want people to know you were meeting," said Ryan, joining the conversation. "True," said Alkaline. "We were not talking." "Yes, you were," said Zach. "I saw your lips moving." "How could you see my lips moving from where you were?" said Alkaline. I'm not sure," said Zach. "I would not even have thought twice about the woman, but I had noticed something different about you while she was standing in front of the door. It was just before she opened the door when I realized it was your lips." "Well," said Alkaline, "you were mistaken about me talking to her, even though I was moving my lips." "Whatever," said Zach. "Where are we going?" "To the edge of the town, where DL is supposed to meet us," said Alkaline. They continued walking for a few minutes before taking a right, and then another right, and then a left. Within a few minutes, they were back on the street, where they were when they first came into Cliff. They continued on this street until they were on the other end of town. As they grew closer, they noticed a man sitting on his horse, as he was waiting for somebody. The closer they got, Zach noticed the figure seemed familiar. Once on the other end, Zach saw it was DL, who was sitting on his horse. "Alkaline!" shouted DL as if they did not see him. The three walked over to him as he dismounted his horse. Once off his horse, he extended his hand and Alkaline grasped his wrist with his own, as DL did the same. After a few moments, the two released, and DL turned and faced Zach and Ryan. "So, did you find the stones?" asked Alkaline. "No," said DL with a long, disappointing face. "However, we are close to them." "I know it." "That is not good news," said Alkaline. "How close do you think you are?" "Close," said DL. "I may have found them already if I did not need to meet you." "That is good news," said Alkaline. "Let us not waste any more time and ride for the mines." "Glad to hear," said DL. DL turned and placed his foot in the stirrup as he grabbed the reins with his left hand and the saddle with his right. Once secure, he pushed off the ground, moving his right hand as he threw his right leg over the horse and settled down into the saddle. Alkaline, Zach, and Ryan all did the same. With everyone saddled, DL turned his horse to face northwest and jabbed his horse in the sides as he snapped the reins. The horse took off, with Alkaline, Zach, and Ryan following behind. The ride to the mines did not take them long at all. Within 20 minutes, they could see the mines in the distance. A few minutes later, they'd see the mines, and their ride became steeper as they began to climb up the mountain. Zach realized that he preferred to ride a horse when they were on flat terrain. He bounced more, and his crotch was starting to hurt more than the mountain became steeper. As the mountain got steeper, the horses could not move as fast, so they had to slow down. After 20 minutes of climbing the steep slope of the mountain, they arrived at the entrance of the mines. They all dismounted and walked the horses over to several stumps that were implanted into the ground. As they reached the stumps, Zach saw they had rings on each side so they could tie their horses up while they were in the mines. Once the horses were tied, they walked to the mines. In the main entrance, a large portion had been carved out, allowing many people to stand at one time. The stone walls were lined with 18 torches. In the middle, a large stone basin carved out of the stone from the mountain. Inside was filled with oil that was constantly burning. Alkaline removed 2 torches from the wall and walked over to the stone basin and placed the end into the flames. After a few moments, he removed them fully lit and handed them to DL. Now having light, they proceeded into the mine following the path, stopping to take different tunnels every so often. They were so far into the mines that as Zach looked behind him, he could not see the light of the entrance anymore. After walking for half an hour, they came to a fork in the road with 3 separate tunnels. Which way?" asked Ryan. "I have already searched the 2 side tunnels," said DL. "They do not go much deeper into the mountain and are easy to search. I was surprised how much I was able to search in such a short time." "No, you didn't," said Alkaline suddenly, handing his torch to Ryan. "Tell the truth. You haven't searched the mines beyond this point." "What are you talking about?" said DL. "Yeah, Alkaline," said Zach. "Zach, You were right, said Alkaline. I did talk to the woman at the inn. I had her follow him after he showed up suddenly in the middle of the night before we left, wanting to go ahead of us. This thing is a trap. He brought us here to have some of the Lord's soldiers capture us. So, TL, are you going to keep lying to us, or are you going to call for the soldiers? No point in hiding it anymore, said TL. You're right. I set you up. I did not want to, but you left me with no choice. However, thanks to you sending me here while I searched the mines to find the best place to ambush you, I found a clue that told me where the stones are, so I should thank you for helping me search out the stones sooner. So thank you. DL clocked Alkaline in the middle of the head with his fist, causing him to stumble backwards, and took off down the middle path. Alkaline was able to keep his balance. He planted his feet, pulling a sword from its sheath, and took off down the path with Zach and Ryan behind him. They followed DL deep into the mountain. The further in they went, the colder it became. Moisture from their mouths became stern as they breathed. The path was straight for the most part. Every so often it curved or began to decline. After several minutes of chasing, DL came to a dead end and turned to face his pursuers. As Zach, Ryan, and Alkaline reached DL, they stopped and began to catch their breath. Alkaline walked over to him, grabbed onto his tunic, and slammed him against the stone wall. Zach figured this was his way of getting him back for sucker punching him. He slammed him repeatedly with a thud that echoed off the mine walls. Thud covered the other sound that was drawing near. The clinking of armor from the soldiers also bounced against the walls of the mine. After slamming Dale against the wall several times, Alkaline pulled him right up to his face so they were nose to nose. I am only going to ask you this once, said Alkaline. Where are the stones located? Came from DL, breathing heavily. I'll tell you if you can get past those soldiers.
All right, Adam, let me hear it. Give me the hard things about how bad this chapter is. I'm ready.
It's actually pretty good.
How dare you say... Oh, you actually said something nice.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Crap.
Like you were ready to dig in.
I was going to be like, okay, so he's going to say some weird stuff about the mines, or nope. He got us through the mines without having to describe every inch of them walking through the mines. Okay.
There is one interesting detail that we'll get to when we go through the chapter that I want to bring up. I do mention
he didn't overdo the horse riding and describe in detail, except for having to describe getting on the horse again.
Yeah, I like, for some reason I was...
You really like, describing guys mounting horses.
Apparently I like that. And I think I wanted to make sure I got
you
that
and
visual.
Arthur Morgan have something in common.
I had nothing in common with Arthur Morgan.
Lots of mounting.
He likes to mount men. I like to describe the mounting of a horse.
Right, he likes mountain men.
But no, Wow, Adam.
That hit me.
Hit you, but it sounded like you were laughing. Now that Adam's dying over there.
That's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
I started laughing. And I hurt myself.
Not as bad as the ones I've seen you do. We had to grab the table.
Oh, no. But yeah, I was getting close.
But no. For some reason, I think after I learned the description of how to mount a horse, I just feel like I had to describe it.
Everyone has to do it the same way.
I have to talk about it.
Left leg, right leg, flip over.
Yep, because everyone in my world are right-handed. Because that's the right way to do it.
There's nobody going left leg over.
No,
nope.
Never. I have no clue. But yeah, it wasn't bad. Like, I do have some notes. I do feel like the riding up to the cliffs was a little long. This description there, but a quick rewrite can get that. Probably could have gotten that down. But I think you're right. So let's go through the story. Because the funniest moment when you were pre-reading and you got to the once Zach woke up, you started laughing. I was like, "Yep, I know what you're talking about." You're probably laughing at.
I love the fact that, hey, Zach Logic, that looks like an apple. I wonder what it's called. Can't be called an apple.
It can't be an apple
it's
at all.
from another world. Hey, Alkaline, what's it called? It's called an apple. You moron.
No.
Dude.
My first bullet note on here is, I wonder why both Earth and Eilira share apples. Wink. But at this point, no one knows why that was supposed to be there, but it's pretty much a wink moment.
Okay.
But I think it was meant to be one of my foreshadowings for later in the story, like later in the series reveals.
I also love the fact that Zach's like, none of this stuff is in common with our planet. And Ryan's like, yeah, except for like the grass,
Yep.
the trees,
Well, even Alkaline says he's
people.
been to Earth a few
the
times.
mountains.
So if Alkaline's been to Earth a few times, who's to say other people haven't been there and haven't import apple trees or?
Yeah.
So we don't know if they are natural, but they apparently enough where they are.
They share a creator.
Maybe, but like it's one of those things. Like if one person's gone to Earth a few times, probably others have. So there's ways that you could potentially brought them over, if they weren't natural. But we don't cover that here. But yeah, it was kind of funny. It was just like, wait, this is an apple. Yeah, I just told you that. But yeah, I know. It's like, I didn't even call it the Zach logic in that. I was just, when I read it, I was like, I overlooked the whole thing. Like, I'm like, yeah, I should have called out the Zach logic on my note, but it didn't. And I have a question is, Zach like harps on that. Like, well, he gets obsessed with this idea that we are having apples.
Yeah.
For some reason. But once we get through this, though, after they eat, though I know I call it no other fruit but the apples, but he has a bunch of fruits in front of Alkaline for some reason. It's only the apples.
They only eat the apples. He's only cutting the apples.
Yep.
He puts the rest of the fruits away.
No, the rest of the fruits he just leaves.
Oh, yeah, for the guys he knocked out.
Yep, who are still tied up and can't get to him.
Who may or may not be actually asleep. Or dead.
Yeah, we don't know. Top secret. I don't know. Alkaline's a murderer.
He murdered all of them.
He's a serial killer. Shh. You don't find out until book 12. Oh wait, there's only 8 books in this one.
He's been leaving groups of dead bodies places.
No, see the fruit. The fruit is for the soldiers who are going to come through and have to deal with them. He's being nice to feed them. But no, we get going.
But he has no idea when the patrol's ever going to come by again.
If ever.
Days later, they're like, we're dying of thirst. Dehydration, help us.
But we get going, and for some reason, when I described, I decided to call out in this, like, wow, there's haze and fog? How can they see at all? For some reason, when I read that, I'm like, that's not possible to have both. Then I Googled it, I'm like, no, you can.
Yeah.
Why did I... That's just a bad education thing, my first guess. Then I was like, I'm going to make it sound like they can't see anything then. No,
It's a hazy, foggy morning,
Yeah.
you know?
But apparently I wanted to make it... My comment was, after I wrote this, I'm like, I wanted like, they can't see anything, apparently. No, they can still see stuff.
I mean, it's
going to be harder, but obviously. But still, for some reason, I decided, last night, I'm like, they can't see jack shit because of both.
if they're following the road.
I know. And I followed up and like, how far?
How far? How far indeed? If and when you go...
This is after we get to Clive.
You mean Clive?
Cleef?
Iffy.
Clive.
It's spelled C-L-I-I-F-E.
One of the I and the E are silent.
But which one?
Exactly. No, but when we get to Clive, and everything, they get the bird. They tell him to go to the Cliff Inn.
It's 2 words.
I know. Then Alkaline just stands there. Then eventually a woman comes over, and Zach seems to think he's talking. Now I have a question. Zach eventually claims he saw Alkaline's lips moving, but I have a question. How far is Zach from Alkaline? If Alkaline's saying you couldn't see that.
They stopped right in front of the building.
Yeah, and but he should be able to see if his lips are moving then.
Yeah. No. Maybe Alkaline is facing away from the boys. And
But it's
the
not
woman
said
would be
that.
facing kind of towards them because it does seem more that he understood it was, her that was talking to Alkaline than anything else.
Yeah, but like,
Which is why I was purposely playing up the Alkaline of I didn't talk to anyone.
but
I did not talk to her. She talked to me. She told me information.
it's just how far, because to not see somebody or tell someone's lips are moving, you gotta be pretty far or have terrible eyesight. But the way it's described is, it's like I envision this town kind of like an old western town.
Yeah.
So like this is like you're not like the horses are right there. It's like a porch and there's a door. So
Yeah.
how far, like, can Zach not see apparently? His eyes are bad
Zach
apparently.
really needs glasses.
Or he's he's not awake.
Hold on, it's so foggy and hazy.
Yeah. Well, no, they got
Even
burned
though
off.
that burned off,
Yeah,
it moved to here.
It moved here. Okay.
It didn't burn off. It just got pushed
got
out of
pushed
the way.
Oh, wait, the sun hasn't risen here yet.
Right.
It's too cloudy and it's too foggy and hazy for the sun to get through.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's like,
I think I can see them.
yeah. When I'm like, that makes no sense.
He also probably would have overheard them a little bit.
I know. Apparently, they're talking like this, but you can't really hear at all.
Yeah, I feel bad for everyone that was just had to listen to nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna have to boost that in
Oh,
post.
you're not going to be able to boost that one, buddy. I'm sorry.
just gonna be like, we're just gonna hear the.
You're never going to see it.
Yeah. Like that. It's like, exactly. You couldn't hear it. That's how quiet they're talking.
Yeah.
But I was still saying words.
I wasn't talking to her. I did not do any talking.
Apparently, he did do some talking. But after that, they get back. We get to travel through the town, which I did think was a little longer. But like, this was more of what I was looking for, like traveling wise. If you saw a map, you could you saw where the cliff is. You could follow them.
Yeah.
But when they meet up to with Deal and everything,
Yeah.
and it's like, did you find the stones? Like, no, close. Like, how close are you? I may have found them already if I didn't have to meet up with you.
Alkaline being like right away, oh, I didn't find them, but we're close. That's not good news. But
Yeah. Oh no. Here's my thing is like,
Huh.
wait, Deal could have found them if he didn't have to leave the mines.
oh, that is good news.
So why didn't he like send word or I don't know, not show up? You'd think Alkaline would be like, I guess we lost him. Can't find. Gotta go somewhere else. No, he's gonna go to the fucking mines.
yeah. You know where he's going to be.
So like, he could have just didn't have to. Like, yep, nope. He decided I'm gonna leave the mines
Yep.
and come back, even though I'm so close to finding them.
Alkaline is my favorite character right now.
Well, he's the one getting the most characterization because he's the guide to everything. But when we get there, we get up there, the entrance of the mines with the stone basin and everything.
Yeah.
I like saw that crystal clear in my
that's-
brain when I was writing this, as always has. Like I could see that like perfectly clear. Like it's part of it. It's been chiseled
torch.
in. Yep. And all of that. But then we get into there. Now here's the one thing why I'm like, I gotta ask you.
Okay.
So why did Zach expect to see some light of the entrance when they've gone down different paths?
I don't know. I don't know.
He looks back. He's like, "Oh, we're really deep in. I can't see it anymore." You know, you've gone different paths. How do you? That's not how light works. No.
Yeah.
and Deal betrayed them.
Oh no.
Shocking. And that's what the woman told Alclan. Why did not he talk to her then?
No.
If it was Sentinel other information, makes sense. Oh no, he's betrayed. He's gonna turn you in. Oh, so we just we're gonna deny that. Oh, because I wanted to be surprised that it's a betrayal. No, it's kind of clear. He shows up in the middle of the night. I'll get a head start. That's not.
Okay.
Maybe if I didn't make Deal so against giving up the location of the stone, then this would have been a surprise. But no, him showing up, duh.
Yeah.
Now, here's the biggest thing on Deal's part. So Deal knows they got Lord Sphere sent him to find the stones.
Right.
But he's betraying them by getting Lord Sphere's soldiers to arrest him.
What?
Exactly. Huh? What?
But
So you think Lord Sphere would have told soldiers, if you find these people,
they need to get the job done.
keep track of them where they are, but
Yeah.
don't. Why? Yeah, it's like, and because we made it very clear that Alclan filmed him in on this, that Lord Sphere sent them to
Yeah.
get them. So why are you getting soldiers who are loyal to Lord Sphere to arrest him? Mercenaries, okay, but
A rival group.
y-
Yeah.
maybe another
Yeah, a different lord.
maybe, but no Lord Spheres. Okay,
Yeah.
but then we get him to run down there. Alclan catches him, bangs him around, asks for the location because apparently he found a clue
Yeah.
to the real location, and which will make no sense in the climax, by the way.
And now the marching is happening.
And then he's like, you can if you get past those soldiers. And Adam opens the door and talks to nobody because John Cena is at the door because we can't see him.
It was John. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
Wait, isn't he supposed to be in Las Vegas for WrestleMania tonight?
That's the wildest part about it.
He can get from here to Las Vegas so quickly.
Because you can't see him.
Exactly. But what happens?
Man moves faster than light.
But if we can't see him. But what happens if he gets hit by something because we can't see him?
It doesn't hit him.
Oh. Okay. You mean he's not physical?
Because you can't see him.
Ah.
Come on, man.
Okay. But yeah, then that's basically the chapter. So,
Yeah.
What do you think of the cliffhanger?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. You're building the tension with the clanging of the armor as they're coming down the hallway.
Honestly, I think the better spot would have been when the betrayal happens and then saved it. I mean, it doesn't work. It does work here.
Oh, yeah.
I think in later drafts, something that we'll find out in the next chapter if it actually happens here the way it does in later chapters, would be another good place if it happens the way, and I'll bring it up when we get to that chapter, next episode. But yeah, it's not a bad place, but it's when I keep saying it's kind of a cliffhanger. It is, but it's not.
You could have.
It's not like and he was shot.
Yeah, no. It's
It's not
not
a
that.
cliffhanger.
No.
So.
It is instead all right, where are we going with this?
Yep.
Improvements, though.
Yep.
There's not many.
How would you improve this episode? This chapter.
There's not much in the way of actual notes. I like the Alcline denying the talking.
Okay, first off, I gotta put this out there.
Oh,
Improvements besides more Highlander.
This episode has swords and fighting,
Oh,
so
okay.
we're good on the Highlander part.
But not sword fighting.
I know, but sometimes you gotta have a little less of that.
Okay.
But Alcline denying the conversation with the woman wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, that's other Sentinel business. and there's nothing for you to worry about Zach and Ryan. But he knows
Yeah.
that now he's going into a trap. He's not letting the boys know because neither one of them has a poker face at this point. Ryan would probably run away, and Zach would go after DL as they're meeting out there.
No, he'd call him out on it.
Yeah, he'd call him out immediately
in
on
the open where he can run off.
Yeah, and boom, he takes off. The other thing that I would change is when DL reveals it, it is more tragic. I do it as a, look, man, they put me in a bad spot. It was you or me. And you know that I'm going to choose me every single time.
It'll be interesting when we find out his motivation, because I think there's different motivations here than it becomes later on. Because I think in Clock of Ages...
Because right now it does seem like DL went to the authorities and were like, hey.
Because I think in the Clock of Ages, it's become he's a double agent.
Okay.
And not necessarily he's allied with the Lord Sphere. He just sells information about the rebels to him.
Yeah.
To the Lords.
And even better, he should sell the information back to the rebels about the Lords.
Because that's where he gets his money. Is one of the ways he gets his money for his treasure hunts and everything. I think is revealed. It may be it's that here, but I think it's more of a no. You came after something you know is important to me.
Yeah.
And everything. But again, all this is going to become pointless when we get to the climax. I promise you.
Oh.
It's going to be a waste of time.
Okay.
But we'll get there.
All right. Well.
But continue with your...
oh, no, that's pretty much it.
My notes is it's like, no, make it a long chapter from the leaving of the story, from when they go to the storage, from 2 chapters ago.
Yeah, this should all be
and
the
then
DL
all
arc.
the way up to here.
Yeah.
And you find way to fine tune certain areas.
Because
like
the theme through here is that this is DL's mini story.
Yeah. The idea is you just figure out different spots. The whole not denying thing is like, no, he's just like, he could have just been like you said, no, I didn't talk to her. She talked to me. It was other Sentinel business. It doesn't concern you.
Right.
Let's go. But keen eyes on noticing.
Good on you, kiddo.
Like I said, I said thank. Yes, I did speak to her. I said thank you. And Zach would be like, no, I just think I saw you some more. You didn't, kid. But good eyes for being able to spot that. You know, you're right in the range where you should be able to see.
Even though you were about 5 feet away from me.
Yep. Because I was doing my best to hide that I wasn't talking to her. Hide that I was talking to her.
I like the fact that he is standing there, leaning against the wall next to the door, just clearly waiting while 2 boys are just standing over there looking at him like, the hell is he doing?
I think in later chapters they actually go to more of a tavern, and it's more of like they go he goes up to the bar, and this woman, which we will get her name, I'm pretty sure in this soon, if not in the next version of the book we get it.
It's air, I know.
No, it's deal, but we put an R in between the E in the I.
Duriel?
Yeah, something like that, if I remember correctly.
What the hell? Dude.
I needed a name in the middle of the book, and I think I just I'll just do that. I think also because I think I try to keep a lot of some names similar with the IEL, for the good guys, as in for like angel names.
Yeah.
And everything, that are not angels, but like kind of hey, see? IEL, good guy. Then one of them's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Kind of, maybe. We don't know his motives yet. But we kind of do. But yeah, I would have him I think I do it in something like that, and she's at the bar, and Zach picks up on them talking and that way he's not even close, but Zach Alcklin's kind of looking forward, but he kind of can tell.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But
there's head movements when somebody talks, no matter what.
Yeah, but I would little tweaks there. But again, like you said, make the chapter longer. It may be a longer chapter, but you're getting from the storage all the way to the betrayal.
Yep.
So you end on a cliffhanger, and it makes it worth it. But yeah, I think you're right about there. Maybe where the break-off point would be might change into partly into the next chapter, depending on how I think it is going to happen.
I don't know.
What's gonna happen, but we'll see in the next chapter. Anything else you want to add to this?
That is everything.
Okay, well, what are your thoughts on this chapter? Do you agree with us linking like 2 chapters ago with the last chapter and this chapter? Tell us down in the comment section. Since you made this far, we're assuming you enjoyed it, so why not smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe to Got Running content on this channel, which is on screen now. If you're interested in that, pick something there. It's what's best suited for you. If not, and you want some more entertainment and want to laugh at some people being terrible at gameplay, go check out Adam's channel. Adam?
ZOP Gaming. That's what you want to go check out.
All right, so pick something. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.